4 of the high-speed trains practice situational problem. It's only worth 2 marks. The marks, I mean, this is a practice situational problem, so these marks don't really count for anything. But it's more to give you an idea of how much work you should expect to put into the problem. This one is meant to be an easy one. Determine the total number of seats available for each complete train. It's not a lot of reading to do here, but I still had a lot of people who weren't quite sure what the task was. Again, always one of the biggest challenges of a practice sit problem. So, determine the total number of seats available for each complete train. There were, again, 4 complete trains to be able to choose from. And in this table, if you pick down through it, it gives you number of seats, and sometimes you see it's per car. In this case, it gives you for the whole train, and this tells you per 4 cars, which is kind of a weird way of conveying the information. This one it gives you per car. And then they tell you number of cars. So in this one here, if I have to come up with the total number of seats for each car, well, one of them's already done for me. Turbo train is 500. Let me write that as part of my answer right away. That the turbo train, no, that's very small text. The turbo train has 500 seats per complete train. Alright, so that's one of them already done. And then I'd say that nice easy one is taken care of. Next up here, the super train is 100 for a car, and there are 6 cars in what was that, the super train? In the super train. Okay, so the super train, I would say, where am I here? Super train that has 100 for 1 car. And again, you can see me doing this in some of the other ones that I've posted solutions for. I'm turning this into a fraction. Just helps me remember that this is exactly a fraction. So the super train has 100 seats for 1 car. And I'm going to figure out what that would be for all the cars in the train. So I've already forgotten how many cars there were in the train. This happens to me. There were 6. Okay, so if there's 6 in the whole train, then the bottom part of this proportion over here is just going to say 6 cars. And once I've set this up neatly and I have everything logically where it should be, then figuring out the missing amount isn't hard at all. Right? I'm sure a lot of you guys were screaming at your screens a while ago, "Sir, it's 600 seats. It's obvious. There's 100 seats in 1 car. There's 6 cars. It's going to be 600 seats." That's right. 6 times 100 divided by 1 gives you 600 seats. Oops. 600 seats on the super train. So once you figure out the missing part of the proportion here, 600 seats, then you know that the super train has 600 seats, and that's part of your answer. So we had the turbo train has 500 seats. That was the easy one. Super train has 600 seats. That's pretty easy. Another pretty easy one, if you look here, look at this guy. There are 60 seats per car in the express, and there's 8 cars. So the express train I just say to myself that there are 60 seats for 1 car. Again, that's not how you spell car on this planet. So 60 seats for 1 car. I'm setting it up as a fraction. You'll hear me saying that over and over again because it reminds me that anything I can do with a fraction I can do with a rate. And then if there's 60 seats per 1 car and I know that I have a total of 8 cars, if I set this up, I'm guaranteeing that just the mere fact that I'm organizing my thoughts well on paper is going to guide me to nailing the answer to this problem. So 60 seats per 1 car, I multiply 1 times 8, 60 times 8, and I get 480 as my answer here. There are 480 seats. That's my missing quantity in this proportion. So the express train has a total of 480 seats per complete train. Okay, lastly, we got our turbo train, which was the easy one. We got this one here, this one here. This one's the only one where I think he's being smart here. 300 seats for 4 cars, and I've got a total of 6. So this is the Rapido train. The Rapido train the Rapido train has a total of how many seats per 6 cars? Well, it's still not too complicated. Turn it into a fraction. It's 300 seats per 4 cars. And then if I have that set up over here, and I just know how to logically set up my proportion where everything that I know is in the right place and everything that I don't know is in the right place. 300 seats per 4 cars is equal to how many per 6 cars? Because again, I see here in the question that where am I here? Sorry, that there's 6 cars in a Rapido train. And if you have that all lined up, you say to yourself, okay, 6 times 300 divided by 4 will give you 450, I think. You can make sure, yeah, 6 times 300 is 1,800. 1,800 divided by 4 gives you 450 seats per complete train. Actually, let me just write in 450 seats there as well so you can see what I'm thinking. That's your missing amount. Okay, so those I already have, if you go back, I've already written as part of my answer, the turbo train is 500 seats per complete train, super train has 600 seats per complete train, express has 480, and the Rapido has 450. I'm sure you guys could do that question way faster than me.